Hey everybody, this is Jason Zombie Collector. And I don't even actually know what I'm doing, to be honest with you guys. I'm doing a video in response to Bluejacket 66's 500 contest giveaway shebang. Now, if you watched all 20 plus minutes of his video, it was like a Rorschach painting, some abstract, German expressionistic type video. I really dug it. I think him and I are actually very similar in some of the things that we enjoy outside of maybe card collecting. I think we have a very similar taste based on the interactions I've had with him on other topics, quite frankly. I mean, his collection is bar none. And, from almost everybody, I think his collection is amazing. He he had this video. If you've not seen it, it is something to behold. He goes on and basically says he doesn't really know what he's doing, and he just kind of like winging it and just kind of rambling along. But I think there's a method to the madness when it comes to Dave. He is definitely a guy who does not do things on accident. Everything he does has a meaning behind it or a purpose, and I like that about him. He's big about Easter eggs. He's big about seeing things like you think you see them, and then you might not see them anymore. A sleight of the hand, a magician, if you will. He's a YouTube magician in the card community. And he's kind of been like that since the beginning, really. And I've watched all his videos. I went back to the very beginning. And, he's one of the very few guys that I know who really appreciates the people who were there from the get-go. Now, obviously, was maybe a couple months behind. I didn't know about him. But when I did hear about him, as I've done with a lot of people, I go back to the very beginning and start watching the stuff to try to get a feel for who the person is from the time they did the first video up until the most recent video. And he's one of those guys who kind of acknowledge that and kind of really appreciate that. A lot of other guys will say, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you going back and I always say go back into the archives. And, but Dave, takes it to the next level. He really, he writes it down, and we'll get to that here in a second. He takes a mental note or whatever the case may be. And that means a lot to him, and that means a lot to me, somebody like me who does try to do that with people. I just don't say, I'm just not jumping in when I want to win something to get something out of somebody else possibly, and then not watch your channel. If I watch your channel, especially if I go back to the very beginning, that means I like what you're doing. It's not because, I'm just here for the, hopefully, freebies. So that being said, though he said he was rambling and he wasn't really had a purpose for his video, that was all just a facade, guys. He definitely knows what he's doing. And I don't really know. He didn't really give any instructions on what kind of video he's looking for in response. He wanted just you to do a few things, and that would be essentially, I guess you would be qualified. He wanted you you had to be a subscriber before he did that video, which that obviously is the case. I've been a subscriber for, 4 or 5 months now, I would say at least. I think you had to like the video. You have to leave a comment of this video, which I will do, Dave, in the response comment section, which I will be doing. Then he wanted you to send 4 or 5 cards in a PWE to an address. I don't know if it's his address, because knowing him, who knows? And I'll get to that here in a second. But he wants you to send it in an address because I believe whoever the 4th place winner is will be getting all those cards that people who gave in. You have to send in the cards, which I will do here next couple of days. And he wants them to be decent cards, not just some kind of crappy, cards. He wants you to send some, nice cards. So, there you go. I'm going to send a few Hall of Famers, I believe. That's my idea. So, without really no other instructions than that, he just said do a video. So, if I know him, I think I may know him, and maybe I'm not, maybe I don't, maybe I'll completely bomb this, and that's okay too. And Dave is not one to mix words or to be shy or bashful, so I'm sure he'll let me know what he thinks about my video or what he thinks about my response. So I'm prepared. I'm wearing my big boy pants today to handle that. So what I assumed he wants, because he's a guy who likes people to pay attention to the little things, the details, read between the lines, if you know what I'm saying. I think he appreciates those things. So this is my response to you, Dave. If I'm completely off base, I am sorry. It was fun all the same. I watched the video 2 times in its entirety just to try to understand and capture what you're wanting. So these are the things I observed in your video, Dave. So guys, everybody, gals, whatever, these are the things I noticed in Dave's video for his contest. Dirt Brood on the Spectrum t-shirt. Larry Doby 1950 graded 7 near mint. PSA. Glasses were off in the video at one point at the beginning, and then they were back on after a cut. He was wearing also a new shirt that was white, and he had a hat on that said Italia 1951. He had the Cars Candy song playing, I believe. Then there was a barn in 1962. There was either an image of that or a shirt, or maybe it was on a shirt that said that. The song might have been the Cars Candy, if I'm not mistaken. And I really kind of let this marinate. He's a big fan of the 70s and 80s music. Michael McDonald ruined the Doobie Brothers. Some of the songs that he mentioned were Long Train Running, China Grove, Black Water. Listen to the music. From California. I believe that's where the Doobie Brothers are from, California. I don't think that's the name of the song. I don't think. Again, I just kind of sat here and looked at this list over the last week or so and kind of come up with it. And then Michael McDonald went on to go to the Steely Dan. Initially, Dave did not like the Doobie Brothers nor Bob Seger, but now he likes them. So he referenced the fact that maybe as time went on, he grew to like them, his music taste. Maybe it was more nostalgia for him, whatever the case may be. But when he first came out the gate, he was not a fan. Another thing he's not a fan of is the word iconic. He believes it's completely overused and used for the wrong type of cards. When he thinks of the word iconic, he mentioned Mickey Mantle 1952 card. That is an iconic card to him. So when people, I don't think I do it quite honestly that often. Now I do it kind of in jest in a couple of my videos. So I don't know if he appreciates that or not, if he's been watching it, because now that I hear him say that, I kind of like, a lot of people do say that a lot for all kinds of cards, but I do it as a wink and a nod. I think he probably would definitely appreciate and understand where I'm coming from, but I know in reality, he is not a fan. So he thinks it should be held off and used only for legitly iconic type of cards. He also said there was one YouTuber that no matter what, he is not a fan of, and he circled it on a piece of paper that said, this person is not winning. The other thing about winning is, for him, is that you have to be a subscriber before the video. He mentioned that. He also said that he wants to wait. It'd be a weighted winning, and he hadn't really created a way or thought about how he was going to do it, that if you win, or how you're going to win, 1 through 4, it'll be kind of like on a weighted scale based on what kind of subscriber, friend, fan, whatever you want to call it, of his channel you are. Not just some guy who just showed up last month who barely has made any comments, and then that guy or gal wins, and then they get the top prize. He wants somebody who kind of gets rewarded for their viewership, friendship, support of his channel. Aside from one individual that he does not like, and he didn't really lead anybody to believe. I have my suspicions on who I think it is, but he didn't say who it is. But he definitely says this guy, he said a guy, he's not a fan of. So the 4th card in the set will be a group of cards we already talked about that will be sent in. He mentioned the 3rd card in the set will be in the giveaway. The 4th place person will get all the cards people sent in to participate in the video or the contest giveaway. The 3rd card will be a Yaz, Carl Yastrzemski, rookie card PSA 6, 1960 card. This is one that, because him and I are movie guys. I've never talked to Dave outside of YouTube on the phone or a text. I don't know if he's on Facebook or not, on that stuff. But one thing him and I share a lot in is films and movies, and he is on my level on that area, and I love it. I wish I could actually talk to him a little bit more about that kind of stuff, but he mentioned, he said, here's a clip, take a watch. And that song was from the Shirelles. That's what I remember of it. 31 Flavors. And the clip came from It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. So that's 4 Mads. It's a mad, 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 mad world, which I love. And that dancer is Barry Chase. Barry Chase. She was the dancer in that clip from It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. And again, the song's been used a lot in other things, but I believe the original song was from the Shirelles, 31 Flavors. So there's that. I love it. Then it looks like he switched his hat to a New York hat. Oh, I'm sorry, New York jersey with a hat with a C on it. That's what I believe. Next up, he said his very first subscriber ever was Nate Tops 85401. Very first subscriber, and that's a big deal for him. He wants to pay homage to the people that supported him from the get-go. He said that to help him the most starting out, the 2 guys that helped him the most starting out was Baseball Collector and Ray from Philly. He said that the first ones, it looks like, who responded also to him was Ray from Philly and New York Yankees, or New York fans 7. Those are what he said about subscribers, supporters. They kind of put him out there with those individuals. Next up, he said Jimmy Guns is most likely to have a Sasquatch, or Bigfoot, or Yeti, I guess. It depends on what part of the world you live in his house, basement, closet. Well, I mean, I don't know if you can fit a Yeti or a Bigfoot in your closet. That'd be kind of hard. But, he's out in Oregon. Or he's Oregonian, or Oregonese. So I don't know what you all have out in Oregon. I'm assuming if you do, you would be skinned. So something that he actually gave me a shout out for, which was very nice of him to do, because I'm thinking most people would not know this, and he knows that I do, is that he showed off a sphere with a 3-prong bladed sphere. Now that sphere is from the movie Phantasm, starring the Tall Man. It was one of the most iconic characters from the 1970s. I believe that movie came out in 74, if I'm not mistaken. And it has some of the best music I've ever heard. Don Coscarelli was a director. He wanted to make a movie that scared people. That's the movie he created. The Tall Man's a very iconic bad guy, monster creature of cinema. And the thing with that sphere is that once it hits you in the head with those prongs, there's a drill that would come in and drill into your brain through your skull. So that's what that is. And I believe the one that he showed is the Special Collector's box set that actually has the DVDs inside of the sphere. It was a Special Collector's edition. That's my opinion. I don't know if that's for sure. Some people have them, replicas made, but I know that a lot of them are just like that were the actual DVDs were inside. Next up, he showed Pat Benatar, Love is a Battlefield. He was rocking a Boston t-shirt at that point. There was a blue pen on the table. Then he showed a 1968 Topps Mickey Mantle 7 Near Mint PSA on the table, talking about that card, which I believe also is going to be a card that is going to someone in the community. And I think that might have been the top prize, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have also on that table, I saw, well, you know what? Now that I'm looking into this, I think these are things that he had on the table. I'm going back and thinking. He had a 1968 Topps Mickey Mantle Near Mint 7 PSA, a 1984 Topps Traded box, a Topps Traded box. So the Topps Traded from 1984. He had boxing cards. Maybe it was Joe Louis. I'm not for sure. I'm not a boxing guy, but there was a boxing cards in this shot of the video. He had a 1982 Topps wax box on there, on the table as well. And then all that was sitting on, I believe, 1966 Topps that were in like some 9-pocket sleeves. So there you have it. On the table, he had the Mickey Mantle 7 PSA 68 Topps 84 Topps traded the box of the Topps traded box. The boxing cards with Joe Louis maybe. A2 Topps wax box and the 66 Topps in the sleeves. Then he had an AC/DC hat on. So he flipped onto an AC/DC hat. Then the shirt, I think, said Shiny Briar. He had a shirt on, I believe that said Shiny Briar. Then maybe the shirt says Shiny Briar. Or maybe when he goes into his closet, or a closet in his house, and I think I see something that says Shiny Briar, maybe that's what it was. There's a painting of a yellow house. There is a baseball team photo, like a team photo of the Yankees, and at the bottom of it, it says Adams Pepsin Tutti Frutti Gum. So it says, that's what it says on the actual New York Yankees, or at least Yankees. I don't know if it's New York Yankees because it was an older looking team set, but you see that. But the important part is Adams Pepsin Tutti Frutti Gum. Then there was a blonde girl on a picture of her, and he kind of focused on her for a second. I don't know if that's his daughter, maybe his wife. I don't know. I don't know who it is. I have no idea who it could possibly be. But there's a picture of a girl, a blonde-headed girl in there. Then the weird thing is, this is what I was going back to at the very beginning. I got my own little Easter egg in here, is that he said everybody sent him a message on to Dave Berg, and he put his address on there. But if you go and look at his video, to the PWE with the 3 or 4 cards that he wants you to send, but if you go back and look, he has a box that is being shown in the closet, and it says David Berg, and it's a completely different address. I'm not going to say that address because just in case he really didn't want people to send something to his personal address or someone else's address or whatever. I'm not, but it's a different address altogether than one he gave. I don't know if that was, again, another Easter egg, a little wink wink. To see if anybody caught that, but I did catch it. That was not, the addresses are completely different. The name, Dave and David, I know are two different, I mean, it's the same name, but he went by David Berg, and the address he did not show off, but it was in the video. And then he said Dave was the address, the name he wanted you to use with a completely different address. And my last few things are, he's a Kinks fan, and has been for, I guess, since, he first heard them. Some of the albums he mentioned were Give the People What They Want, big Springsteen fan, Born to Run album, Backstreet and Thunder Run, Jungle Land were some of the songs. Big fan of The Clash, London Calling. #1 album, The Cars, Candy O. Second album is what he said. He goes, probably my #1 album is The Cars. Second album is Candy O. He said the FF Billy Ripken 1989 Fleer card is not an iconic card. So stop saying if it's an iconic card. It is from his perspective. At that moment, he was rocking a Cheap Trick t-shirt. There was a flashlight and a pen on a table. And at that point, he was showing the 1959 Mickey Mantle Excellent 5 PSA, which I believe was the card. It was going to be the winning card if you won. That was the card. So that is my observation, Dave, a.k.a. David. Hopefully this is what you're looking for. Somebody who was paying attention to the smallest details. And I'm sure there was plenty of things I missed because you're the kind of guy who really enjoys having people really focus and look. And I feel I'm a pretty good guy on detail. But I'm not I don't want to go that deep into the woods for no reason. And then you're like, dude, seriously, that was not what I was looking for. Like, I did not care if you saw I had 2 different color socks on or whatever. So anyways, man, I hope you enjoyed. Guys, Dave, I love the contest. If you have not seen Bluejacket 66, go check him out. His collection is literally bar none of nobody else. It's like top tier, next level stuff. I mean, when you go to his channel, you're like looking at Cooperstown. You're looking at, auction house level stuff that's like selling their collection. It is outstanding stuff. Things that I can't even smell, can't even taste. I couldn't even touch it because it's way outside of my realm of reality. But for somebody who is as knowledgeable as Dave is, it's so much fun to watch him go through his cards, and so he has so much knowledge that he drops on all of us. It's great. Unlike where a lot of other people just show a card, they're just like, got this Ichiro, got this Ichiro, got this Harold Baines, got this John Smoltz. You know, he actually goes through and like breaks down each card. Like, he'll do an 8-minute video on one card, and it's not boring. It is actually filled with information. He makes it worth your time. So please go check out his channel if you have not already done so. And until next time, peace, love, and hair grease. And just keep telling yourself, it's only a movie. It's only a movie. It's only